Yeah, it goes everybody, because today we'll be playing a game called My Precious Stalker. Let's start. What's your name? Cliff. My stream direction. My stream direction? What is it? Sure, games, whatever. The morning sun slowly creeps in through my window. However, this does not prevent me from covering my head with a blanket and wincing. After a few more minutes of tossing and turning, I realize I'm unlikely to fall asleep again. So I had no choice but to get out of bed. After a little morning stretch, I glance around my boring room. Yeah? Oh, I can do that. Cool. One day I will stop forgetting to put the medicine back on its place. Well, or at least in a bag. I wouldn't like to go for the prescription again if I lose them. Bills, ads, fan letters. I will definitely read it later. Later, skater. Should probably wash this pile of clothes, but I'm too lazy. Totally relatable. Try to do it this week. Shake my head, yawning. What could even be expected? Only I live here. Getting out of bed, I stretch out once more and go to the kitchen, finally wanting to have breakfast. Oh God, running a midnight stream after working was probably a mistake, which unfortunately will happen again. Anyway, once I'm in the kitchen, the first thing I do is head to the fridge. Dreaming about my future breakfast, I open the door and discover an absolute emptiness inside. The fridge is not only just empty, there aren't even any cockroaches in it. Poor ones couldn't find anything left. When I realized my pet cockroaches, are disappointed in me. When I realized that I have to go to the store today, I wince. And why specifically today is the run out of everything today? I sigh in defeat, looking helplessly at the emptiness instead of food. And at the same time, I can hear my stomach growling mercilessly. Realizing that nothing will magically appear in the refrigerator while I stare at the shelves, I just close the door, crying. A disappointed sigh escapes my mouth. Well, I definitely won't go out tomorrow, so it's better today. I head for the closet, trying to recall if there's any more moths appeared since the last time I opened it. Thank God there were no additional roommates in my clothes. Choosing the first thing that catches my eye, I lazily put it on. And taking my wallet and phone, I leave the apartment. To my disappointment, the elevator is still under repair, so I have to go down the stairs again. I really hope they will fix it soon because the sporty lifestyle is clearly not for me. So I'm a fat guy, fat streamer. Flight after flight of stairs, it can probably take forever. So somebody's missing, don't smoke here. Is this the killer? Is this the kidnapper? My gaze once again clings to the covered-up walls of the entrance. Missing persons announcements, phone numbers of some workers, scribbled walls, wanted flyers. Finally, I find myself outside, breathing in the stuffy air and the smell of exhaust engines. While almost unnoticed, streets and unfamiliar faces fly past. My thoughts were all on the previous day. Wait, why does this art style look familiar? Is this the same dev that made, what was that called? 3 Flowers or something? The one that never... The one that's just a demo, and I promised myself I'm never gonna play any demos ever again. God damn it. Well, I'll definitely think twice next time if I decide to do a stream at night after my work shift. Yesterday was crowded enough, then I even streamed for half of the night. Crap. I let out a heavy sigh. Need to make a schedule later. One day. Although with the kind of work schedule I have, a stream schedule is out of the question. Glance around the walkway leading to the park before continuing my path. I even like that shortcut is going through here. Soon enough, the trees slightly outline the shape of a huge mall. I like to wonder why it's the only decent store in the whole city. It seemed actually unfair walking back and forth on a weekend for almost an hour just to get something to eat tomorrow. That's why people binge grocery shopping so that they don't have to do that. I won't have to leave my complaints behind, as I do not notice how I find myself at the same spot. And I definitely should buy something that won't spoil my stomach for the next week. When I reach the store, I pick everything that theoretically a single person living alone might need. What do I usually eat? Vegetables, eggs, bread, well, and among other rubbish. After checking all the goods at the self-service checkout and paying, after a few minutes I go outside again. After fresh air bumped into my nose, I took a quick look around the parking lot and left. How long are we gonna... How long is this? In the park, I slow down and give myself time to think. I don't really understand. It's easier to breathe here because the forest is nearby. On the one hand, it is logical, but on the other, it's all the same air, isn't it? My thoughts gradually jump from one to the other, taking me somewhere far away in thought. However, they seem to have taken me too far when I suddenly bump into someone. Because of the unexpected collision, I let go of the bag. As it falls to the ground, my heart skips a beat at the thought of my just bought eggs breaking from such a thing. You fucking asshole, you're gonna pay for that.
Oh, my bad.
Wait, there's voice acting, but it says here I'm sorry about that. Rubbing his neck, the young man gives me an awkward smile.
Let me help you?
Of course, if it's not hard, do me a favor, Daddy. Let's go from up to bottom. Yes, of course. Actually, it's my fault. I apologize. Should have looked where I was going. I immediately get down on my knees and feel the guilt eating away at me from the inside out. The stranger quickly sits down on his knees next to me, clearly not afraid to make his pants dirty, and helps me collect the leftovers in a surviving bag. Getting up from the ground, I immediately pick up my bag, trying not to look the stranger in the eyes. I really should have been more careful. What a shame. I'm sorry, I'm really I just...
That's okay.
You're not gonna say don't worry about that? Alright. He smiled at me gently, interrupting me in mid-sentence.
But I'd like to buy you a treat.
Sometime if we're still feeling guilty. As a small compensation for the fact that we bumped into each other. The guy looks at me expectantly. I'm gonna check my phone. If you message someone like a video, so sure. Before I can answer him, I suddenly feel a non-stop vibration in my pocket. Your message. Checking out my phone, I look in surprise at the number of different kinds of notifications. I'm sorry, some other time, okay?
Oh, well, I won't bother.
Fuck off. Having goodbye, sorry, it says here waving goodbye, he walks away, leaving me alone. This is good, of course, but shouldn't I be safe? Back home. Shake my head, pushing away the intrusive thoughts. This man just turned out to be very kind, nothing like that. It's just that today I wouldn't like to be invited somewhere. Somewhere to my death. Like asleep, an empty fridge, all those things. Anyone would not be in the mood with such a set, and only a few people will agree to something like this, being out of sorts. With a calm soul and a clear conscience, I leave the park. The way back this time seems less long to me. Apparently after that collision, I'm less in the clouds and more watching the road. Well, it's for the best then. Wow. Oh, something good came out of all of this. The streets pass by unnoticed when I finally find myself near the house. Grocery shopping is a tough task, especially on the first day off after your first job. And after second job one, I just want to press the elevator button when I remember that it still doesn't work. Cursing all imaginable and unimaginable technologies, I walk to the stairs, counting in horror how many more times I will stumble before climbing. God, this guy talks so much. It is really boring. Like, do we really need to know how long the distance between your apartment to the mall is in about an hour or something, and then there's a park? Like, is this gonna be mentioned? Is this gonna be referenced? Is this gonna be used somewhere down the line later in your story? Because if it isn't, why fucking bother making me read all that shit? However, I heroically climbed the last steps, almost falling on the right floor. After catching my breath a bit in front of the door, I finally go inside. I quickly unload my new purchases to their places, while thoughts occasionally flash through my head. That guy worries me a bit. Why? I should have at least asked him for his name. Don't bother. Wearily, I climb onto the bed with the phone in my hands, sprawled out in the shape of a star. Should I call JD and tell them? Without thinking twice, I pick up the phone, dialing a familiar number. After all, they are the only one I can share something like this with, or rather, with whom I want to share with. After a couple of rings, the phone is picked up and a voice is heard on the other end.
Hey, haven't talked in a while. What's up?
With a heavy sigh, I tell them the whole story, almost in one breath. For a long time, they only answer me with silence. Maybe today's story is already something out of the ordinary.
Wait. Are you serious? You almost got done down and then invited somewhere? What the hell?
Yeah, it's like what do you call that? It's like every rom-com ever. Start of a rom-com turned out to be a comedy horror. There you go. I laughed nervously in response. Yeah, it's not too bad yet, but it's probably already on the verge.
No, I'm serious. I want that too.
So what? Want sue? You want me to call lawyers and stuff? I want to be bumped into and then offered a treat. There you go.
Give that guy my number.
I'm sorry, but he didn't give it to me. There's a disappointed groan heard on the other end. After chatting with JD for a while longer, I put the phone aside and stretched. How long have we been talking? It's long past midnight on the clock. Deciding to leave the day's worries for the next morning, I finally burrow under the covers and go to bed. I hope I could do without so much stress tomorrow. Worked for you, what? It's another fucking demo. Fuck this game. Fuck this visual novel, man. I hate this fucking... I'm so pissed off. It's another fucking demo. God damn it. Should I go through every time I download a game like this? Should I go through it in one sitting before because God, did it mention in this itch.io page that it's a fucking demo? Because if it is, I'm gonna fucking no more demos. Fuck. Let's go through the forest. I felt a cold. Or is it just a chill running down my spine? I'm so pissed. In any case, I absolutely did not like the idea that this person could follow me as freely as inviting me somewhere. Maybe I'm being paranoid or something. But I still glance around and head towards where the park turns into a forest. I walk for a while, occasionally glancing over my shoulder to make sure I'm not being followed. The further I go, the less passable the terrain becomes. However, I still don't care. It's better to get lost in the woods than fall into the clutches of some serial killer. I stop by the weeds and try to catch my breath, and turning around I found myself God knows where. Wonderful, just fucking amazing. I'm in the middle of the forest, someone might be watching me and I don't even have a clue how to get back. Good job, me. Clutching my head, I sighed in resignation, leaned my back against the tree. My heart was beating wildly somewhere in my chest or in my temples, throbbing in the back of my head with pain. Why does this only happen when I leave the house? I can hardly overcome the desire to sit down here and burst into tears from despair, thinking about the next course of action. Well, in theory, if you keep walking, you'll end up at least somewhere, right? After a few minutes of such a stay, I gather my courage and still decide to try to move on, hoping that I will be lucky. I don't know how much time has passed since that halt. But my arms and legs were already falling off when I stop again. It takes me a moment to realize that the forest is shrouded in night darkness, and at that moment I hear someone calling out to me.
Hey.
Sup? Another unknown guy who looks more like a forester is making his way through the bushes to me. He smiles radiantly. How can you see that in the dark, but okay, carefully pushing the branches in front of him. Once he's almost at my side, he straightens up, stopping a couple of meters away and straightening his bag. Unlike me, stands firmly on his feet.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Getting lost for getting lost's sake. I shift uncomfortably from one foot to another, moving the bag from one hand to the other, trying to get away from strangers, and god damn it, it went the opposite of what I wanted.
You don't know your way back, do you?
Yep. I nod weakly as he looks at me puzzled. What a shame. Why does it feel like I'm 10 years old again and my parents found me in the woods? Lol.
Let me walk you out.
Alright, I'm gonna trust you, stranger. He lights me up with his radiant warm smile. Or gonna die. Agree. I nod briskly because I don't really have any other options. The guy is probably just happy to help me because he immediately grabs my hand and points away from us.
Okay, follow me.
Immediately following him, I examine his back, surprisingly it doesn't seem dangerous to me or anything like that. You're not gonna question the blue skin, the elf-like ears, the horn-like, the bows. Yeah, I think that's a bow. The hair bow that looks like horns. The no eyes. Actually opposite. In a friendly way to relatives or something. Curiosity outweighs any decency, and walking in silence is a bit boring, so I only think for a couple of seconds before starting a dialogue. By the way, what's your name? The young man turns his head slightly in my direction, continuing to walk. Apparently, my question startled him a little at first.
I'm Misha, and you are...
I'm Clef. The dialogue was awkward, well.
So, why are you here?
Oh, so the true goal of me going here is to avoid a stranger, but somehow, you can see how that went well. It seems that the ice of sudden encounter has begun to melt between us since he asked about it. Would it be appropriate to ask now about his appearance? Although it's probably like asking any girl about her age and weight.
What is it?
What, you're not gonna say the other words? Don't you remember why you were in the woods? Yeah. Wanted to take a walk, but somehow I got carried away. Even though I'm carrying my grocery bags, which is stupid. I don't know how to lie, and I think it's a scene. I really wanted to believe the opposite until the last moment. Misha chuckled, while I could only hope that he would not ask for any details. Fortunately for me, this forester did not become curious like me. My thoughts began to creep into my head that this guy had something else planned. A guy finally appeared between the trees. Already my heart was relieved at the moment, and a relieved quiet sigh involuntarily escaped from my chest. My attendant apparently noticed this, but did not pay attention to it much. We got out of the woods. I've been exhausted for a long time, and the grocery bag was completely crumpled. It seemed to me that the forester would leave me right at the park, but he continued to walk ahead of me as if nothing had happened. Not knowing if I should start panicking or just look around once again, noticing that there are much less people here at night than during the day. Well, yeah, it's night. What the hell are people doing at the park during at night? Unless you're one of those people that enjoy the thrill of wink wink, I'm not gonna say for channel safety purposes. However, they are still present here. And make this guy feel uncomfortable since he pulled his hood almost over his eyes in front of the first passerby. Soon we reached the edge of the park. By a happy coincidence, it's the closest way I can get home from here. I step forward a little to make sure that this is the right side of the park, and I'm already turning around to thank my savior. However, he had already waved goodbye to me with a fleeting smile. With a slight wave of my free hand in response, I also go my own way. Thank you very much, the sudden stranger who was doing something in the forest. The way lies only along the streets of the city, I know, yeah. As you could tell, I'm really bored. Because the dialogue takes so much. I cringe at the thought that it might still not be safe, so I quicken my pace so that I can get home faster. Blah blah blah, we get it already. What else do you have to say? Grocery shopping is a tough task. I don't give a shit. I just want to press the elevator. Yeah, we know this already. Cursing all imaginable, yada yada. I quickly unload my new purchases, although what happened today still haunts me. Where I climbed into the bed, where the phone, blah blah blah. Should I call JD? Same thing.
Hey,
Yep. So it's same thing.
wait. Are you serious? You almost got knocked down and then invited somewhere? What the hell?
I'm just drinking
Oh,
something.
Give that guy that for... Oh, God.
Blah blah blah. Oh, we can find Skip. Oh gee. What if I refuse? No, thanks. I'll better manage on my own somehow. With these, oh, you got eyes. With these words, I slowly step back, holding my hands out in front of me. The stranger takes a step forward as if to stop me or warn me. But after a couple of meters, I turn around and start running as fast as I can. I don't know where. Wally, too, shouts something to me. Anyway, just to get out into the city and without anyone on my tail. Oh, fuck, I don't care. Realization comes to me too late that the package of products which is already suffered today was torn because of some branch. Oh, fuck. And now the car that have become a whole trail of products leading to me. Wow, nice one. Try not to think about it and just keep running. However, I don't notice how I stumble when my sneaker accidentally clings to one of the protruding tree roots. I felt my body roll dangerously down some kind of slope. I try to stop somehow, but suddenly I feel a strong blow in my head. Please, please, do something, please. Let me die, please. I need something that can help, something that can trigger the stimulus. Please let me die. It goes dark in my eyes instantly at the last thing I feel is my body going limp at the foot of a tree trunk. Congratulations, you got a bad ending one. Death in the Forest. We hope you enjoyed the quick walkthrough. Thank God something happened. Okay, I'm gonna edit here because I have to prepare for work now. So this is my precious Stalker. If you want to try the game, if you want to try the demo, the links are in the description. That is all for today. Stay safe. I had to care of yourselves. So, too many stuff that... What is this shit? Talking going on long tangents about how long you go from the apartment to the mall or the shopping mall, and then the groceries. What are we gonna buy? Oh, we're gonna buy this, we're gonna buy that. I don't care, god damn it, unless it's gonna be used later on. Stop wasting my time. One of the most things I hate about visual novels is if they take too long to talk about some shit that won't be even used in the finale, in the climax of the story. It's like, what's that called? I don't know what it's called. But if you're gonna go into full fucking detail about some shit, then I expect that shit to be used later down the line. Because if just, I don't know, trying to paint a picture, well, it's a fucking boring picture. It's so it's annoying to read through because I'm scared that I'm just wasting my time reading all of this, trying to understand, and then nothing happens with it. We don't go anywhere with it. So why even give me that fucking information?